I met Vienna in beautiful weather. When we left Moscow, trees wasn't green in Moscow. The weather was cold enough, and when we arrived to Vienna, we met green trees. It was a very sunny day, and I met summer day almost in Vienna, and maybe it is the reason why Vienna the most maybe memorable. I kept the most beautiful photos, took most beautiful photos in Vienna because weather.
Because of the weather. That's that's so exciting. Wow. I'm so happy that you got good weather for at least one city on your trip.
Yes.
So wow, that's exciting. Was it for just a vacation or were you going to see friends or for work?
I visited these three cities with my wife, and I took 1 week vacation in my job, day off.
Very nice, very nice. Wow, that sounds like an amazing trip. I'm glad that you had a good time. What was the highlight of your trip?
Highlighter. I think possibility to travel without definite plans, because we bought tickets. We made some research before trip. We bought actually the tickets in December. Few months, several months before trip, we choose the cheapest tickets, and it wasn't expensive trip for us, and we had opportunity to load in background of the cities because we didn't have definite plans. We randomly chose hotels in the cities. That's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's good to be a little spontaneous on your vacation. That's very nice. Well, I'm glad you had a great time, and I'm glad that you got to see the sights despite the weather in some of the places. I think that's wonderful. I think traveling is wonderful. So I'm glad that you're back. Thanks for coming to join me for this class.
Thank you.
So without further ado, let's begin. Do you know what we're talking about today?
We are going to talk about modals.
Yes, so we are going to talk about modals, but specifically modals in reading, and trying to identify um, which words are the modals in the reading. So I'll briefly talk about modals, and then we'll practice a lot of reading. So modals are important in this class, but what's even more important in this class is practicing your reading, practicing your pace and pronunciation. So let's try and focus on that for the most part, and modals will be secondary to that priority, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. All right, well, let me share my PowerPoint with you. Just let me know when you can see it. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so I have this little funny comic that kind of demonstrates some modals. Could you please read the comic on the left, and then we'll read the comic on the right.
Okay. I can't. One person who is lying on the sofa said, "I can't believe I have to spend Thanksgiving with my family."
Good. So I think he is not happy about it. And then let's look at the right one. Could you read that one, please?
I can't believe I can't spend Thanksgiving with my family.
Yeah, and
Uh,
what's going on there?
this man serves in military, and his dream is to return home for Thanksgiving.
Yes, so we have two sides. We have one person who doesn't want to be home, and then another person showing that it could be much worse, who would love to be home in this situation. Excellent. So, are you familiar with modals at all?
Modals, modal verbs can,
Yes. Yeah,
yes, yes.
excellent. Good. Yeah, so we have the negative form of can here and can't. And then this one is technically not a modal, but it's used as a modal many times. It's I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So let's briefly get into what modals are. Okay, what are modals? Could you please read?
Okay, modals verbs are special verbs which behave very differently from normal verbs.
Good. And could you please read the very common ones we have down at the bottom?
Mhm. Can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, would.
Excellent. Okay, so we have modal verbs, right? And we have regular verbs. So they are different. Um, Regular verbs we conjugate, and sometimes that means putting an S on the end for singular or plural, depending on the subject. So, for example, we would say, he speaks Chinese, or she arrives by 9. But let's read this. Could you please read number 1 in the examples, please?
Mhm. Uh, Modal verbs do not take "s" in the third person. Examples: we can speak Chinese. She should be here by 9.
Excellent. So do you see the difference how we can't add that um, S onto the end?
Yes, for example, if we are trying don't use can, probably we can say he speaks Chinese instead of he can
Good.
speak Chinese with S.
Yes. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Sorry, my computer's going a little slowly. Please read number 2 and the examples.
Mhm. You use not to make modal verbs negative, even in simple present and simple past. Examples: we should not be late. They might not come to the party.
Excellent. Excellent. And number 3.
Many modal verbs cannot be used in the past tenses in the future tenses. Examples: we will can go with us. Not correct. She must study very hard. Not correct.
Good. Yeah, so that kind of hurts my ears. It's like nails on a chalkboard, right? Musted. Oh, no, we cannot make these past or future by adding an ed onto it, right? So even in the ones above, you can see that we use not to make it negative, but we cannot make them past or future.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, questions on that before we move on?
No questions.
Okay, we're flying right by. Good job. Okay, so this is just a chart to sum up some of the things I have coming next. As we can see here, we don't have to go through the whole thing, but on the left, you see the modal auxiliary verbs. Can, could, might, may, should or ought to, must, would, right? These all have different uses, and these are a lot of the uses that we're familiar with. So we use can for ability or the possibility of something happening, a polite request when we're asking a question, permission, right? All of these are used for certain things. That's not too important right now. What we're gonna do is practice the reading, but if we have time, we can come back to this, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, so it's basically just highlighting what they're used for. You're very advanced, Natalie, so I know that you've used these words before. So we don't exactly need to go through when we use them because I know that you use them regularly.
Okay.
Hi, Anton.
Hello, Alison.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How do you?
I'm doing great. How was your Friday? Did you have a nice start to your weekend?
My Friday was as usual. Just did some casual things like working, home chores, and so on.
Working and did you say homework or home charts?
Chores.
Oh, chores, I see. Okay, good, good. Well, happy Saturday. Happy weekend. And Natalie was just telling me that he came back from a trip in Europe, traveling to many cities, and so now he's back. So we welcomed back Natalie. Anton's been with me while you've been gone, Natalie, so I'm glad that now you guys are both here. But today we are talking about modals, Anton. So we talked a little bit about the most popular ones. I'll let Natalie share with you what we've learned very quickly, and then we'll get to the reading, because this class, as I was telling Natalie, it's more about the reading, more about pronunciation and pace than it really is about the modals. But we'll highlight a little bit of both. So, Natalie, let me share my PowerPoint again, and if you could quickly review with Anton what we just learned, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll put it on this slide really quickly. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we can see in the slide the most common modal verbs which we can use in English. It is just list of that verbs.
Excellent.
And on this slide we can see the main difference in spelling of the verbs. If we use normal, not modal verb, we use s in the third person speaking or doing. For modals, we don't add s in the third person speech words. He can speak Chinese. In normal verbs, we can say he speaks Chinese with S.
Good, excellent. All right, Anton, do you have questions on that before we move on?
No, thank you, Natalie.
Okay, great.
You're welcome.
All right, and then we have one more. And Natalie, could you explain this slide briefly?
We use not for when we use modal verbs, and we can't use usual forms, past tenses and future tenses for modals. We can't say, for example, she must study very hard in the past.
Excellent. Yeah, so pretty simple. We use not to make it negative, and we can't make it past or future. So we can't change the tense of these verbs just by adding ed. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Natalie. All right, Anton, now that you're up to speed, these were just some of the lists of the common modal verbs and why we use them. We can go back to this if you have questions, but like I said to Natalie, and I will say it with you, you use these modal verbs quite a bit, so I know that you're familiar with them and you guys are advanced with this type of vocabulary, so we don't have to go exactly into why they're used and when they're used, but we'll see in the reading a little bit more to answer some of your questions, okay?
Okay.
Awesome, guys. All right, this is the same thing. This is when we use it and different examples of showing why we use it. But I think we should get straight into the reading with you guys because you guys know a lot of this already. Quickly, let's do this. We learned how to make them negative, right? So this will be a quick exercise. These are popular modals. Let's hear their negative form. So Natalie, can would become?
Can't, cannot.
Excellent. Anton, be able to?
Uh, uh, be, be not able to.
Good. So once we conjugate it, it becomes I am not able to. Excellent. Perfect. Just a note, this is actually, surprise, surprise, and these are actually not modals, but they're used in the same way that modals are used, so that's why I have them here. So can, the first one, is very popular when talking about ability, like I can swim or I can ride a bike. And able to is very, very similar. So I am able to ride a bike, right? So they're sometimes interchangeable. So I have it here. It is not a modal, but it is used in the same cases. The same with have to. You must take off your shoes before entering the building. Must is a modal. But we can use it with have to as well. You have to take off your shoes before entering the building, right? So it shows something that you need to do. So have to, not a modal, but is used in the same way. So that's why I have them here. Okay, so just be familiar with those. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, Natalie, may.
May not. Listen. Oh. Can you hear me, Anton?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, something happened with voice. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
now okay.
Oh, okay. I think I lost you guys for a moment. I'm sorry about that. I think my internet cut out. Okay, but we're back in business. Anton, let's see. Must?
Must not.
Excellent. Yeah, must not or mustn't. Good. Natalie?
Should not, shouldn't.
Excellent. Anton?
Ought not to.
Good. Ought not to. Excellent. Natalie?
Would not.
Good. Need to, Anton?
Needing to.
Okay, and Natalie?
Have not to.
Okay, these two are actually tricky. these bottom ones, because we don't hear a lot of people say you needn't to do that or you haven't to do that. So we can actually add does not need to. See the difference?
Yes.
Yeah, because we don't usually say I have not to, right? That sounds a little weird. But we're still adding not. So we just add the does. A little helping verb right there. Okay? Well, those ones are a little tricky. All right, awesome. Good job, you guys. Let's keep going. What slide am I on here? Oops. Okay, so we are going to read about Helen Keller, the girl who could not speak. So I guess we'll just take turns, different paragraphs. The girl who could not see, hear, or speak. So, and if you can't see it, I can make it bigger for you. So Anton, why don't you start with I'd like you.
I'd like you to know the story of Helen Keller, who could neither see nor hear from the time she was a baby. Yet the brilliant girl was able to overcome all those handicaps, to graduate from a college with honors and become a useful citizen.
Good. And Natalie?
I must say, there was nothing wrong with Helen Keller when she was born. Her father and mother were very proud of their pretty baby, who tried to say papa and mama.
Excellent, guys. Perfect pronunciation. Great pace for this. Let's stick with that if we can. So, let's see. Can any of you find any modals in this reading? Once you have one, just go ahead and shout it out.
Could,
Good. Yeah, where do you see that?
able to,
Sorry?
able to, could, able to, must.
Good. Yeah. Can you read the whole or the words before and after it so we can find it?
First, in the first sentence, after first comma, who could neither see
Good. Right here.
hear from the time she was
And
born.
then able to.
The second sentence,
Right. Remember, this is not a modal, but it is used similarly to a modal. Right. So what could we replace able to with? What could we replace this with? What modal?
could.
Good. Yeah. Yet the brilliant girl was able to overcome, or yet the brilliant girl could overcome all those handicaps. Excellent. Yeah. They're both used interchangeably. And then the last one.
Must.
Good. I must say. I need to say. I have to say. Good. All right. Excellent job, guys. You guys are rolling right along. Let's keep going. Okay. Anton, please read.
19 months, Helen grew bigger and stronger. She was able to walk when she was a year old. She could say a few words.
Good. Natalie?
But one day the child fell ill. She must have been very ill. For days she was laid up with a high fever, and soon the parents learned that their darling would never be able to see and hear.
Excellent. Anton?
The little child was now doomed to a life of silence and darkness. She could not hear what was said to her, and did not know how to talk. She was able to play with other children.
Good. Okay. So excellent pronunciation and pace again, you guys. What about the modals? How many can you find? Why don't you count them and then come back to me and tell me how many you found?
And should we accept similar?
Yes, please include the ones that aren't really modals but act as modals.
I mean, accept the similar words. For example, able to.
Yes, please include those.
I counted 7.
Okay, what about you, Anton? Anton, are you there? Anton? Okay, I guess Anton is not with us. I hope he comes back. And Natalie, can you please point out the ones that you found?
She was able in the second.
Good. Oh, in the second. Oh, yeah,
Verb,
second line. Good.
second line. She was able to, yes.
Excellent.
Next, and the third line, could say, could.
Good. Excellent.
Next, must have been.
Excellent. Good. That's 3.
3. Would never.
Good.
Be able. 5.
Good. 2 more.
Could not hear.
Good.
6.
And the last.
Unable to play.
Good. Yeah. So I didn't tell you this, tell you guys this, but when we said not able to, that's perfectly correct. She was not able to. But we can also say she was unable to. And you found it, so excellent job. I thought I might trick you there, but you got it, so excellent. Anton, are you with us again? All right, well, oh, you're with us.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to speak.
Oh, that's okay. Could you hear us, though?
Perfectly.
Oh, great, great. Okay, so we found 7 modals, and Natalie showed us which ones those were. Let's keep on moving with the reading. Okay, who's next? Natalie?
When Helen was 6 years old, her parents took her to Baltimore and then to Washington to famous doctors to find out if they could do something to make her hear and see again. But the doctors could do nothing. The child was hopelessly deaf. Dr. Bell said the Kellers should address the Perkins Institution for the Blind and Boston and ask if they could send someone to help the child.
Good, excellent reading. Anton?
It was a wonderful day for Helen Keller when Anne Sullivan in arrived in March 1887 to take charge of the child who could neither hear nor speak. Helen was nearly 7, and Sullivan was past 20.
Good, excellent. Could you repeat this word again?
Seven.
Good, and then this word.
Sullivan.
Good, we're practicing your V's, awesome. Okay, so what's going on? Let's take a step back from the modals and let's talk about comprehension. So what's going on in this slide? What's Helen going through? Anyone?
When Helen was 6 years old, she moved to for doctor assignments in Baltimore and Washington.
Good.
And the conclusion of the doctors was bad.
And why were they trying to find these doctors?
Sorry, would you please repeat question?
Sure. Why were they looking for doctors?
Her parents hoped that it could be cured.
Yeah, exactly. That she could see and hear again. Good. And then Anton. Who is Anne Sullivan?
I don't know.
Should we read the paragraph again? Why don't we read to ourselves silently the last paragraph? It was a wonderful day. Let's just read that to ourselves. 30 seconds. Okay. Anton, who is Anne Sullivan?
Well, we only know that she took charge of the child, but
Good.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about her, but we do know that she came to take charge of Helen when she was about 7 years old, right? So she came to take care of her. Good. All right, so what about this slide, guys, for modals? Can you find any?
We can find many.
Okay, give me one.
And the first is good.
Say that again?
First is good in the first sentence after if.
I'm sorry, could you say that a little bit louder or more clearly?
I'm sorry.
That's better.
First model is after if. It's a could.
Good, right there. If they could do something. Excellent. Any others?
And second one after but doctors could do nothing.
Good. We have could again. Excellent. And Natalie, can you find one?
Yes, should address.
Excellent. Good.
And could send.
Awesome. All right, we've covered 4 just in the first 2 sentences. Excellent. Or 3 sentences. Good. Any in the bottom?
Neither.
Sorry? What did you say?
I said it is also good.
Good. Yeah, we have it right here. excellent. Any more, or is that it?
No.
Good. Yeah, that's it. Awesome. Good, awesome job finding those, guys. All right, let's keep going with the story of Helen Keller. Okay, I'm going to ask that you guys read the first 2 paragraphs to yourself. I think it's good to practice reading aloud, but also good to practice reading to yourself. Actually, all 3. Read all 3 to yourself, and then we will read them aloud for pronunciation purposes. Okay, just let me know. Just take your time, and I will give you guys about 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, 30 more seconds. Okay, have you all finished reading?
I finished.
Excellent. Anton?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Anton, what's going on in this slide?
And Sullivan find out how to teach the child words.
Good, excellent. So we would either use past tense found or finds present tense, but not Anne Sullivan find.
I thought I said found out.
Oh, found out. Okay, sorry, I misheard your pronunciation. Good. Okay, continue. What else is going on?
The child learned 300 words and started to make up his own sentences.
Good, excellent. And Natalie, how did they communicate?
They communicated using that language, hands language.
Good, yeah, with their hands and with different motions. Good, and so were they able to eventually communicate and talk with each other, or was it a lost cause?
They were able to communicate to each other.
Yeah, so this is kind of a magical year for Helen Keller, right? She's finally able to communicate things and understand that things are have names or words. Awesome. All right, so can you find any modals in any of these paragraphs? Let's start with from the top.
The first paragraph must have names.
Excellent. Yep, just one in the first one. Must. Good job catching that, Natalie. All right, second paragraph.
Could even.
Good. Yeah, just one in there as well. Awesome job. And any in the last paragraph?
Variable.
Sorry?
Variable is the last
Good. Yeah. This is to be able to, right? Not a real modal, but acts like a modal. Cool. All right. Good job, Anton. All right. Let's keep going, guys. Okay. Oh, you know what? We didn't read this aloud. Let's go back and read this aloud. Okay. Anton, please read the first one.
one moment. Anne Sullivan found a way to make herself understood. She gave the child a doll, and taking Helen Keller's hand, she slowly spelled out D-O-L. And the child learned for the first time that things must have names.
Good. Excellent. Natalie?
When Miss Sullivan later spelled into the little girl's hand and word W dash A dash T dash E dash A
Good.
and then water and then let the water from the pumps run over her hand, a new light seemed to brighten the face of the child. During the next 3 months, she learned 300 words and could even put some of them into sentences.
Great. Great pronunciation. Good. All right, Anton.
Miss Sullivan loved her purple pupil,
Good. Pupil. Good self-correction.
her pupil who was so quick to learn. She lived with she lived with Helen, played with her, and worked with her every hour of the day. By means of the hand language, Helen and her teacher were able to talk to each other.
Good. Excellent. All right, guys. Great pronunciation. No problems on this slide. All right. We'll do the same thing. Please read to yourself. I'll give you a minute, and then we'll come back and test our comprehension.
Okay.
Okay, take your time. Okay. So, Natalie, what did Helen learn to do on this slide?
She studied how to read books, and even he was able to write usual special equipment,
Excellent.
typewriter.
Yeah, excellent. Um, And have you guys ever seen what we call Braille?
Not sure.
These are raised letters that blind people or people who can't see will feel with their fingers, and it's kind of their sort of alphabet. So that's how they read because they can't see. They feel the letters. It's a system of dots that kind of spell out words so that they're able to read. So a lot of signs, you'll see sometimes public signs like restroom signs will have Braille underneath so that a blind person can tell whether it's the woman's bathroom or the men's bathroom. So that's what Helen learned. She learned about these raised letters and learned how to read from those. Good. Anton, what was Helen's goal when she turned 10?
She wanted to learn to speak.
Good, yeah, she really, really wanted, she was determined to learn how to speak words. Good. And Natalie, what was her first sentence she ever said?
She said it's warm.
Good, yeah, her first sentence that she ever spoke aloud was, "It is warm." Good, so that must have been an exciting day for Helen when she was actually able to speak after not speaking for how many years, right? So that's really, really awesome. All right, let's read this aloud just for pronunciation purposes. Anton, go ahead.
Helen learned to read books that were printed for the blind with raised letters. She also to learn to use the typewriter to write what she wanted to say. When Helen was 10, she was determined that she would learn to speak.
Good, excellent, guys. So just guys are doing a great job with pronunciation. So just be mindful of your pace. So you guys are pausing at all the right spots. Just try and take a deep breath before you start to really focus on the words and keep the pace consistent throughout the sentences. Awesome job. All right, and Natalie, you can read the next two since they're very short.
At first, she learned only the sounds of the letters of the alphabet, but soon she was able to say words and sentences. In the story of her life, Helen Keller writes, "I shall never forget the surprise and delight I felt when I uttered my first connected sentence. It is warm."
Excellent, guys. All right, so there's not many here, but can you find any modals in these paragraphs? I think I only see two right now.
It's would and able to.
Good, yeah, good job. Was that Anton? Good job. We have would and be able to. Excellent. All right, let's continue. All right, so this is a picture of Helen Keller, and you can see that she's. It looks like that she's graduated. She has a graduation kind of gown and hat on, so that's pretty exciting. Let's read about it. Anton, go ahead.
At first, she had much difficulty with her speech, but Aunt Sullivan understood what Helen tried to say. Helen practiced speaking day after day until at last she developed a clear voice.
Excellent. Try this last word again. Put your teeth on the bottom of your, or on your bottom lip. V.
A clear voice.
Good. Excellent. All right, and Natalie?
Later, she was able to speak before large crowds, which came to hear her whenever she lectured.
Excellent, guys. So what's going on in this slide? What do we learn about Helen?
She started to speak in voice, not only in Hans language.
Good, yeah. She used to be only Anne could understand her, but then she developed a clear voice that many people could understand. Good. And Anton, what did she do with that clear voice?
She became a public speaker.
Yeah, excellent. And that's something really hard to do for anyone, right? And imagine someone who had never spoke before and is speaking in front of these large crowds. I think that is incredible. Awesome. Can you guys find any modals in here?
Was able in the second.
Good, yeah. No modals here, just was able to. It's the only one. Excellent. Okay. All right. Natalie, go ahead.
At the age of 20, Helen Keller passed all the difficult entrance examinations to Radcliffe College. Helen did extremely well in her classes and was able to keep up with the other students. Helen wrote the story of my life while she was in college. In her writings and lectures, Helen did everything she could to help and encourage others who were blind.
Wow, excellent pronunciation. Excellent pace there, Natalie. Good. So, Anton, what's going on in this slide? What do we learn about Helen?
She passed exams to the college. She did classes, and she actually could keep up with the other students. And she wrote story of her life.
Good. Yeah, she wrote a book, The Story of My Life, about her life in college, or while she was in college, about her whole life. So that's really interesting.
Inspired people.
Sorry?
Basically, she inspired people.
Yeah, she inspired a lot of people and also inspired a lot of blind people. Um, so that was really cool and definitely pioneered a lot of the resources for blind people, right? Using books and typewriters and going to college. So that is pretty amazing. So can you find any modals in this paragraph?
Was able in the middle.
Good. Any others?
Could to in the last part.
Yeah, excellent. Any more?
I think no.
You're right. That's it. Just those two. Excellent job, you guys. So that kind of concludes our reading. And since we only have about a minute left, we won't get to the next reading. But you guys did fantastic today. So bravo, good job. Hardly any pronunciation errors. So that's really wonderful to hear. Keep practicing reading, and as you practice reading, your pace will definitely start to develop a little bit more. But today you guys did awesome. Great job with the modals. Yeah, do you guys have any questions?
No questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalie, and welcome back. Anton, thank you for coming. Do you have any questions?
No, no.
Awesome. Okay, well, at the end of this class, please just rate me on Linguistico from 0 stars to 5 stars, and tell me on my page if you liked it or if you didn't like it and why. And yeah, you guys have a good rest of your weekend, okay?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Good job today.